Being a local resident myself, I have lived in the area for nearly 30 years, and I've walked past the allotments many a time and never thought anything about them until I started doing this project. And I want other local people to know about the allotments, to know how they got there, how long they've been there, who were the pioneers, what grows on there. That's the sort of thing I wanted through this project.
Oh gosh, I can remember it as though it was today.
Oh, it's wonderful. You're out in the fresh air and you're seeing things grow, and there's a lot of camaraderie on there.
It's a part of our heritage. It's just as important in my view as Westminster Abbey.
I'm not on like I used to be, but then it was everything. I lived and dreamed it.
They started around about 1916. There were two sites originally. One was the end of the playing fields, council site, and another private site was back of the racecourse. There's a constitution which starts in about 1918 for the Kersal Vale allotments.
Yes, I remember Littleton Road being paved from a dirt track to concrete, and we watched they had a concrete mixer covering the ground, and when it was set, cyclists, boys on cycles, came from all over Salford to have a ride on this because all other roads were sets, wobble-dee, wobble-dee, but this was a plain road, and it used to go up to Kersal Vale and back again. And there used to be dozens of lads on bikes going up and down, that's all, because it was so nice and smooth. Oh gosh, yeah.
The working man went to work on a push bike, thousands of push bikes going into Trafford Park. I was one of them, and I started work at 15. Motorbikes and the occasional car, yeah. No more mobile telephones, no TV. Your local entertainment was the picture-drome or the picture house, yeah, for your entertainment.
It was beautiful. Everybody used to come from all over and walk up the road to Cousins' soap factory, you know. To be quite truthful, they called it the Monkey Run.
Well, in 1914, March 1914, a lad, a pal of mine, Arthur Williamson, his father had a cap shop on Blackfriars Road, and the land was left by Lord Clews never to be used except for horticulture. So the council took it over, and Jim Williamson, Arthur's father, he was the first one to get permission to have an allotment. So we got there, and we opened a gate at the side. It was blocked off like that, the field was. That's where the hotel was built. But we went in at the side here, and we had a spade and an axe, and we chopped sods and then lifted them up and stacked them. And that was the first start of the allotments, 1914, March 1914.
I was exactly 21 years of age. I'd just come out of the army, just done 2 years in Germany, national serviceman, among the last to be called up. And I moved down here, and I met a guy who's had a plot, and he said, "When do you get a plot?" So I got one. And I live round here now, I've been here for 45 years.
I first went on about 35 years ago. And the reason I went on is that an old friend of mine had a plot, and the more I went down listening to him, the more interested I got. He taught me everything that I know. So I was very keen on it at the time.
Well, it was my husband actually. When we first got married 32 years ago, a friend of ours and his wife had an allotment at Kersal there, and he asked my husband, why don't you come and join us, get a plot? So that's how we did.
We used to have one lad on here, he was an Elvis Presley fan, and he used to dress up as Elvis Presley. Yeah, oh yeah. It's hard to explain because everybody's different on here. You've all got a character trait, you know what I mean. Some are raving idiots, some are singers, some are philosophers. It's hard to pin down. So it's a good cross-section of people. A lot of good people on here.
Oh, what was his name? But he used to go to the Smithfield Market and give them a lift there early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. And he didn't get money, he used to get flowers. And he used to go into town then, and on Deansgate, stop gentlemen going to their office and give them a flower, and they used to give him a tip, you know. and what was it? Oh, God, I can't for the life of me think of his name. I can see him now. He used to wobble about on these flowers, and he was. He left home. His mother wouldn't have him in because he pinched the rent once, so she turned him out, and he used to sleep anywhere. Oh, I can't think of his blooming name.
Oh, an old guy, we used to call him Old Mac, Mr. Macaboy. And in them days, several of us used to go in the racecourse for a drink, and then at dinner time we went back on the plot, and he used to have a huge cooking pot, and he used to make big soups and everything with all the vegetables off the allotments. You never knew what you were going to get, but we ate it, it was always good.
Well, yes, there's one or two things that stand out in my mind. The most important one was 1914, watching the soldiers go to war. I lived in Ravel Street off Blackfriars Road, and that was a continuation of Great Clew Street. And there was a barracks of the 8th Battalion Lancashire Fusiliers on Clew Street, and they marched to Exchange Station, and me and the lad next door, Bill Nesbitt, we walked with them to the station, and then they all dismounted their kit, and they stood there till about 2 o'clock in the morning, and me and Bill Nesbitt was stood with talking to them. And we didn't realise the time, and when we came out of the station, my father was stood at the corner of the street. He said, "I'll knock your bloody head off."
The allotments was pushed into service to help the war effort, and they did make a good big contribution to the war effort, because you couldn't import stuff, could you? Sea blockades, you know, shipping was being sunk left, right and centre. So the more you grew of your own, and the government give you priority, every bit of land was pushed into production. You got generous government subsidies, used to supply you with your material, your seed, you were all encouraged.
The government asked people to get allotments, take on allotments, and provide their own food, save having to give food to them instead of giving it to the armies. So a lot of people started getting allotments then, and there were some allotments at Weast, and these at Littleton Road, and so it went on from there. People started getting allotments and allotments and allotment.
It was hard work, and I didn't want to do it. It was all right when the novelty was there, you know, for a couple of weeks, but when it went on for months, I wasn't. Well, I was getting older, I was more interested in the boys then than the veg.
We had a big family, I'd say 6 sisters and 2 brothers, 9 of us, and sugar was rationed. But my mother had taught us not to be very sweet-toothed, and we used to let neighbours have so much sugar, and they thought it was wonderful to get some extra sugar, and we thought nothing of it.
We're all in the same boat, we all had nothing. When I was, there's no such thing as bank accounts and credit cards and things like this. You got your money from whatever you're working on, and that had to do you. There's no such thing as credit cards, you know. And you rode in, you had to do, because we all had no, basically. I would say that there's no urgency. When I mean urgency, if your crop fails, so what? Pick on the precinct, get your grub. But in the old days, sometimes you needed that because the greengrocers, this is true, when I was a kid, there's a greengrocer's shop at the end of my street when I lived in Manchester, and they very rarely had any vegging at all because the war had just finished, supplies were still slow in coming in, you know, and Mrs. Tobin, her name was, and she'd get 2 sacks of spuds a week, and she'd tip them out onto the counter, and have you got in a day? So you had to eat them for the next delivery, or go into town. Sometimes you could go into town and buy them. Your basic food stuff was essential, and it was hard to get hold of.
They've paved the pathway down now. It was all dirt, potholes, but now they've paved it. They got a grant and they tarmacked it now, and it's beautiful.
In my opinion, they're better run than they've ever been. The people on them now seem to know more about growing than we did. I knew nothing when I first went on, but now people seem more knowledgeable.
We got a grant. I don't know, it was £1,000. And I didn't do it, but 2 of the other fellows did. They laid a concrete bed and then they built a shed on it, a room with a table and chairs in it for committee meetings. Well, I hope they continue to be looked after. They're a valuable asset to go and dig your own potatoes, get your own carrots, get your own tomatoes. Oh yeah.
That they continue to keep going as they are now. If they could get any better improvement, I think the people on it now are doing a good job now, and I'd like to see it continue for a long, long time.
Well, all I can say is I just hope it goes on and on the way it is now. And I hope all this redevelopment that's happening in the area in years to come doesn't affect the allotments, because it'd be a shame for the community around here.
It's a typically, I say English, but you've got allotments in Wales, you've got them in Scotland, you've got them in Ireland. But it's typical British, in my view, right? I mean, on here now, we've got ethnic minorities on here now. Like I say, we've got an Arab in the corner, keeps pigeons, Orthodox Jew boy in the corner who grows, we've got Welsh, we've got Irish, we've got Scotch, and we've got Italian. But we've all got one thing in common. We all like gardening and we grow stuff. And this is a part of our history. It's just as important as the Battle of Hastings, in my view, 1066. Harold getting his eye shot out, silly bugger. It's just as important. It needs to be preserved. It's just as important, I think. And I want to see every plot on here works, and it'll be back into its prime again.
You know, I thought I was going somewhere at that age very important.
Going on that allotments every morning with the dog, go in Joe's shed and have a cup of tea and a natter. They talk about women getting together nattering, but I'll tell you what, you go in that shed.
It's loaded with history, loaded with it. And I want it to be preserved.